Okay, another day, another brand audit. Today we're doing a mini audit for Zepplin, the label. So this is a jewelry brand, and I went ahead and reviewed your Instagram and a little bit of your website and some of your content to curate this little mini review. Friendly reminder, I do these in like 5 minutes, so please don't judge me, but let's get into it. I'm really excited about this one. So first things first, I actually wanted to point this out at the beginning because I think people don't realize the impact that certain words can have on the consumer's perspective psychologically when it comes to different pieces and elements of copy in your brand. For example, I noticed here and there you use words like trying and emerging. And I think sometimes this comes from a place of us just not wanting to fully step into our power or just totally own our brand. And I think it's so important because there's a huge difference and such a confidence boost when you kind of remove those certain types of words from your vocabulary or your brand vocabulary. I just wanted to acknowledge too how much I love the creative of the brand. I think creative direction is totally your strength and you're really nailing that. So just continue to follow that creative intuition. I really think the overall brand, both from like just a website copy perspective and your content in general, would really benefit from you refining your personal founding story as to why you were so passionate about finding this brand. And I read through some of the about section on your website, but I wanted to make one distinction. And this is actually something that I constantly see founders struggle with, which is making the story less about them and what happened to them or what brought them to this decision, and instead focuses more on something you can invite the consumer into. There's a bunch of different ways you could approach this, but I really just think it focuses less on like the nitty-gritty details about what brought you to this decision versus an experience you had, awareness that was brought to you that made you desire to start this company and why, and how that's going to change or impact the lives of people who purchase products, or in this case products, but also services from a potential brand. If I were you, I'd also create a lot more content that's just talking behind the different intentions of pieces that were created or campaign drops. You could even create a series about discussing different elements that inspired you. I'd also have someone like follow you around shoots to really capture how you collaborate with your like creative team or photographer to execute different imagery for campaigns or videos. I also just think capturing more of your personal essence is really going to bring and attract people to your brand. I've said this to almost every single brand I've audited, which is the founder is the new influencer, and your ability to capitalize on your personal brand, and in this case, your presence, is just going to help your brand grow exponentially. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more once we get to messaging, but I do think that you could create a series where it's like outfit of the day or story of the day, which will make sense in a second when we get to messaging, where you could talk about your jewelry choices and how certain ones are communicating certain stories or certain feelings for you. I feel like there was a nod to this conversation on your website, and I feel like you could just further embody it. I also think it really helps with subliminal marketing and makes it a lot more effortless to market something when you're sharing a whole outfit and then you happen to just be like, oh, and these are my hoops that I actually designed. We designed these because of XYZ, and I love wearing these because they give me so much confidence. And when I feel confident, I feel like I can conquer anything. I'd be like, where can I buy the hoops? I'm sold. Along with that, I would weave in more intention and copy in general. I feel like you could especially do this with product descriptions like on your website. So instead of saying we created this cuff and here's the jewels we used to create this cuff, you could be like, this was the intention behind designing this piece of jewelry. It was inspired by XYZ, or we hope that it brings XYZ into your life or helps you invite blah, blah, blah. Again, this is just an idea, but you could get really specific with different pieces of jewelry and what specifically inspired you to create them. Okay, and now for my favorite part, the messaging. Let's just rapid fire go through some of these. And again, this is just to spark some inspiration. So for core messaging, we have wear your story, your jewelry, your story. I also love jewelry designed to tell a story and jewelry with a narrative. Overall, I feel like you could just totally lean into how people are communicating a story with how they choose to adorn themselves with different types of jewelry pieces. And then I just had to switch these out because I realized I made a little grammar error that I wanted to correct. But for secondary, I love designed by me, defined by you, or you could say designed by us, defined by you. It's not an accessory, it's an intention, the art of dressing, and then elevate your outfit of the day. Or you can even say, I'd be really particular with when I use this, but I'd even say something like elevate your OOTD. Okay, that completes my audit for this brand. I love the vibes. It's such a cool brand, and I can't wait to see if you choose to implement any of these ideas in real time. But I have no doubt that you will go great places with this brand. If you're a small business owner or a founder who wants me to do a little mini audit of their brand, you can just tag it below, and as I have time, I will try to get to it. And if you want to work with me in a private capacity, I now offer something I call brand therapy intensives, which are where I basically act as your brand therapist and create a custom strategy for your brand and your messaging.